Hello, this is Scorpion, and yeah, you're watching my very first commentary about Aliens vs Predator Classic. Just want to say before we'll start talking about the actual game, I finally got Sunny Vegas. Even made a nice little intro on it, as you might have noticed from the beginning of this video. And yeah, hopefully I'll be able to make better quality of videos in the future thanks to that. Now as for the game itself, this is a subway deathmatch and a bunch of pretty good players around here. First one is Old, who's a pretty good alien, and he's also uploading videos and commentaries about the game. I'll post a link to his channel at the end, at the bottom of at the description page. Second player is News. He's playing Marine here, but he's mainly playing the alien. He also has a bunch of AvP Classic videos. He has no commentary, but that shouldn't bother any of us, I think. The third player is White Panther. He's kind of alright, I suppose, but what I think you should notice about him is that he's very good with the blades, with the wrist blades. I mean, you'll see during the videos you'll get some very nice kills on other players just by using the wrist blades, and it's impressive because the wrist blades are kind of the hardest weapon to use in this game. They're very slow and they have a very limited range, so there aren't a lot of players that resort to using them. Alright, so the reason I started with this commentary is because I think a lot of people are kind of curious about how should you play the game. I mean, in the sense of playing it well. What should you do, when should you do it, and why? And originally my idea was to kind of write it all down, because I had no mic. I still have no mic, by the way. I'm using a very old-fashioned sound recorder to record this commentary. And yeah, so I figured a lot of people would be interested in this kind of stuff. So I'm gonna kind of explain what kind of the mindset, what are my goals when playing the game, what I'm doing to get killed less and to get more kills myself, and maybe even a few nice little tactics that can improve your game. So first I think what we need to address is the map. The map is Subway. It's considered an alien level because it gives the alien the most advantage. Why does it give the alien the most advantage? Well, because it's kind of a valley shaped map. You got the walls around. You got the street, which is like the valley itself, and you got the walls around it that kind of make everything in the street, to put it kind of in military terms, into a kill zone, essentially. And as an alien, your goal should be to kind of hop around from wall to wall and basically pick off anything that walks around in the street. This is the reason this map is so good for aliens, because there's just this huge place to move around. And the other species, the Marine and Predator, find it very difficult to counter a good alien that knows how to use the walls in this map. So now that this is kind of clear, I guess this kind of leads to the point of how to play well in this map. I mean, I had a talk about this with Ol I think it was like a month ago. He watched one of my videos and came to the conclusion that what I do is I do a lot of wall jumps, and to play well this is what you should do as well. And this is kind of halfway right, because I am doing a lot of wall jumps, but I'm doing it for the wrong reasons. The reason I'm doing a lot of wall jumps is because I use the walls a lot. I crawl on them a lot, I try to attack from them, and the most obvious method of attack, as you probably noticed from what I'm doing during this video, is doing the wall jump right from the wall. So what I'm trying to do is just kind of use hit and run tactics. I would climb a wall, I would look for a target, and basically I would try either to run up to it from the wall or jump on it from the wall. And regardless of getting it or not, my next objective will be to climb right back on the wall. Now, it's funny because using the walls is kind of something that should be instinctive to someone who plays the alien in this game, or really in any AvP game out there, because that's kind of one of the unique aspects of playing the alien. But a lot of players, most players don't do it. I don't know why. Newbies usually just go for something like taking out the lights, because for some reason they think that if the lights are gone they have an advantage. And in this game in particular, that's a complete mistake, because if there are no lights at all, you will have the worst vision of all three species in complete darkness. But the use of the walls, I don't know why, but most people don't do it. I think it's a big mistake. I think anyone who plays aliens has to use the walls. And what the walls basically give you, first of all, the walls give you protection in a way. It's much harder to hit you when you're on the wall, because players are not used to fighting wall crawling targets. They're used to fighting targets on the ground. The walls kind of give you an unexpected dimension of fighting. So even if you're just standing still on a wall, it's still better than running around on the ground. You're still safer. It will still take the opponent more time to aim and gun you down. This is the first reason. The second reason, and it's more kind of, it has to do with the game itself. Well, the walls are kind of the basis of every speedy attack the alien has. You get a lot of speed from using the walls, and if you watched Old's advanced alien moves video, and you should, I guess I'll link you to that as well. If you watch that, you'll know that every fast alien move has something to do with the walls. So it should be in your interest to use the walls as much as you can. And the third reason is kind of from the perspective of the opponent. When you're using the walls, you're forcing your opponent to look up. And if there's more than one threat in the game, like we have now a game of 5 people. By the way, we have a new player joining us. His name is Alien. I have no idea who he is, and he's of no importance as far as I can see. If you're in a game with so many threats, well, you kind of have to, you force your opponent to kind of make a choice. Do you concentrate on the target that crawls on the walls above you, or do you concentrate on the ground? And most people, rightfully so by the way, most people would choose to concentrate on the ground because that's where most of the threats are. And that also gives you a level of safety if you're the one who's using the walls, because nobody is expecting you, nobody can effectively prepare for your attack. So this is as far as the wall crawling goes. Basically what you can see in this video is that I'm basically spending at least 50% of the time on a wall. I'm being on a wall longer than any other alien player here. And this is usually the case. I'll usually be more on a wall longer than anyone else. Even I guess it's a little, I don't know, maybe it's a little cocky to say, but even compared to other veteran players, you will not see them on a wall as much as you'll see me. I think it's one of the reasons that so many players struggle to fight me, because I'm using the walls so much, and it's hard. I know from the perspective of, say, the Marine, it's very hard to fight an alien that just crawls around the walls and just jumps down at you, tries to swipe you down. If he fails, he just gets back up, and you kind of you have no breathing room in a way, because you can attack. You basically can attack from any direction at any time, and it's very hard to shoot him down. So this is kind of the basic approach for this map and for playing the alien. Basically, I try to do this in every relatively open map. Open maps is where the alien excels, naturally, exactly because of this aspect, because you can move around, because you can use the walls effectively. And in here you get to see exactly that. Now, what else can I tell you? Well, basically, another thing you'll notice me doing a lot during this video is kind of circle around. When I'm on the ground, I'm kind of circling around one spot on the floor. I'm doing it on the walls as well, but mostly on the ground. And this is also something that I guess only the veterans do, because they understand the logic behind it. It's kind of it's a small nuance, but it's a very important small nuance. It really makes a difference. If you don't use it, it will hurt. It can snowball and really hurt your game a lot. Basically, what this does, it kind of touches on another aspect of the alien. It's the tail timing. So, as you probably noticed, every half-decent alien player resorts to the tail as its main attack, not to the claws, because the tail is a one-hit kill, so it only stands to reason that you'll use your strongest attack when you can. Claws are good as well in certain situations, but in most situations you're better off with the tail. So, since we're using the tail, playing the alien kind of divides into two different objectives that you need to achieve. The first one is the movement, which I already discussed in a way. You kind of have to know all the basic and advanced movements of the alien. You need to know to use the walls. You need to know why you're using the walls. And the second one is the timing. And timing is very important, because timing will determine whether you'll get killed or not. If you have horrible timing, it doesn't matter how well you move. If you can't produce the hurt on the other player, Worst case scenario, he'll just, at best case scenario, he'll just keep shooting until he kills you. Worst case scenario, he'll become very, how should I explain? He'll become very confident, and you can't allow anyone to get confident in this game. When a player gets confident, his own timing improves, and he becomes more daring and allows himself and goes for a lot riskier things. So basically, that kind of thing can also snowball into you dying more and him getting more kills. In this particular video, Old kind of gets frustrated in about midway of this match, and you'll see very clearly how his ability to kill me deteriorates and how easy it becomes for me to kill him. That's because he's not confident in what he can do, and he's frustrated in his inability to kill me. And the fact that he misses a lot, and the fact that I'm not missing a lot, allows me to get even quicker kills on him. So this is as far as timing, and in order to get good with the timing, you need to kind of understand the tail and its limitations. So yeah, the tail is auto-aiming, as I'm sure you know, and it has a rather long reach. It's, for a melee attack, it's quite it has quite the range, I'd say. So basically, as far as how to use it correctly, well, you need to either be within range, but also you need to pay attention to the fact that you're not too close to your target. When you get too close to someone, what you'll get is it kind of messes up the auto aim of the tail, and it forces it in a way to miss the target. So that's another thing to kind of keep in mind. As far as when to use it correctly, you need basically you need to release the attack so that when the tail when the animation of the tail releasing goes, your target will be within range and within a line of sight. Like if someone is too far to the right of my vision or too far to the left, I guess the tail will miss him. So this is, it's very important to keep those things in mind when you're fighting. What else can I tell you? Well, as far as the alien goes in his attack, again, I kind of want to go back to what Old said about doing a lot of wall jumps. And doing nothing but wall jumps it's a mistake, because it kind of addresses something that's not really an alien aspect, but really just an important aspect in any competitive game, I guess, and that's not becoming predictable. When you do just one sort of attack the whole time, you get very predictable, and when you're predictable, it's very easy for others to kind of shoot you down or to time your tail so that it will hit you, and you don't want to give anyone an easy time in killing you. The whole point of the movement of the alien is to make it hard for someone else to get you. So a good alien will always try to kind of mix it up, use different types of attacks. Now, every alien, I guess, every alien player has his own preferred attacks, has his own kind of go-to attack, as in the attack he uses the most. That can, I guess, it changes with different play styles. But the important thing is that you do not limit yourself to just one attack, and always try to kind of do different things, kind of keep your target on its toes, keep surprising your opponent. Now, I kind of lost my train of thought about the whole circling in one spot. I started talking about it and kind of let it go. So the point of circling in one spot, it kind of touches on the alien movement and the timing. Basically what it does is it kind of baits your opponent into attacking and letting and basically releasing the tail too early or too late. The point is you release it in a bad time, in a time when he can't hit you. When you kind of do this circle strafing thing, you kind of move in and out of his tail range, and that makes you harder to hit. Experienced players kind of know how to get past this, but even against experienced players, it's a lot better to do this than to not do this. Because even if you know how to fight this, it's still harder to hit you when you're doing this than when you're kind of running into people or jumping on them, kind of without any game plan in mind. Now, another important aspect of this whole circle strafing is that it allows you to keep your speed going. It allows you to stay on full speed while on the ground. And so if you need to transition into faster jumps, it can be easily done. And you don't have to accelerate all over again. Now, what you'll see here about old tactics is that he's pretty much kind of a gung-ho alien. He kind of goes right into it. He doesn't waste any time kind of thinking about a proper approach to people. He just kind of jumps around and hopes he won't get hit, which will work in many occasions. But against an experienced player that kind of knows how to guard himself and how to predict movement and look for patterns in other people's gameplay, when you do this, you're making it easier. You're basically an easier target. And that's kind of why he's so frustrated, because you'll see me kind of predicting his moves in many cases. Also, another thing I want to touch on, you'll see a lot of people kind of jumping down from a ledge when they come to this street area in this map, and you'll see it in other maps as well. Any map with a ledge, really, this kind of point will apply. When you're approaching an area and there are people running around downstairs, it's very, very risky to just jump down the ledge, kind of without any thoughts about is it safe or not, because most of the time it will not be safe. I personally, I love hunting down players that kind of do that. It kind of just fall down the ledge or just jump in a predictable pattern, because again it kind of touches on the whole predictability point that I brought up before. You cannot allow the opponent to be able to predict your moves. If you're an alien, and you're coming and you want to come down the ledge, jump to a wall, make a wall bounce or something. Don't just fall off the ledge like an idiot, because it's a foolish way to die. It's basically giving the other player a free kill, and you should never allow such easy kills for your opponent. Now, again, I want to come back to the whole approach of using the walls. You'll see this approach actually it wasn't my idea. Like I learned it from watching an old school player that kind of doesn't play anymore by the name of Maelstrom. He wasn't a very fast bug, but what he'll do is he'll get to kind of this area between two buildings and just climb on a wall. And just he'll let his target to run around downstairs, and he'll just kind of jump down slowly, poke around trying to get a kill. If he'll miss, he'll just climb back up. And he did wonders with this move. He was quite amazing at that. He was one of the best bugs in the game, and he was one of the best bugs in the game without even knowing how to do all these speedy moves. Like, he knew how to bounce from wall to wall. He didn't really use anything else. That's pretty much all he used. He just climbed on a wall and just kind of pounced at people that are on the street area. It doesn't even have to be a speedy jump from the wall. You don't need the full speed when you do this. Sometimes it's even better to go slower, because it will be easier for you to time your tail. And he didn't go fast at all. He took his time with those jumps. He made very slow jumps. Now here I'm kind of starting to ask Old what he's doing, because during the game at this point Old kind of got frustrated and just started fighting me while standing still. You don't want to fight another alien while standing still, because you're giving him the initiative. I mean, if you're a much better alien, like I know some players that kind of do this, taunt people. If you're a much better alien, I guess you can get away with it. But if you're fighting against someone your own level, you will always lose when you're standing still, because you're giving the other player basically, you're giving him the initiative. He gets to initiate when contact will be made. When will the two of you get in range of each other's tails? That's kind of also the point of all the speedy jumps. What the speedy jumps do, basically, you sacrifice your timing for movement. And the point of this sacrifice is that you might have a little harder time getting a kill, because timing the tail will be a lot harder. But what you do gain is that your opponent will have a very hard time hitting you as well, and also that the initiative of the attack will be yours. You'll be the one who gets to decide when contact will occur. The other player, the best he can do is just hope he can guess when it will happen. But the one who makes the jump has the initiative. And because of this reason, people who had very good timing with the wall jumps and the wall bounces, they always dominated over bugs that just kind of ran on the ground. Because if you're good at making those hits count, it's very hard to counter what you're doing. Here you can see him, he's just standing there, he doesn't even do anything, he kind of giving up. And you see me, like, without much effort, just kind of taking him apart in this game. And the reason is, again, because he's standing still, and it's a mistake, and you shouldn't do it. Now Another thing I want to talk about is kind of since Newt is here and he's using a pulse marine. Guess I can also discuss a little bit about different weapons and when to use which weapon for the marine. So the marine has a whole bunch of weapons. He has the most weapons in the game. A lot of those weapons are kind of useless. Like he has the dual pistols. You can't do nothing with them in multiplayer. Like if you get a kill with the pistols, it's just embarrassing for the player who got killed because those guns have such a low rate of fire, so low damage that basically you'll be dead long before you even manage to drop 50% of the other player's health. Another bad weapon is the flamethrower, because basically anyone can get extinguished rather quickly in this game, and it will take you about, I don't know, 3 times of setting the opponent on fire before you actually get a kill. By that time you'll usually be dead by that time. Another useless weapon is the smart gun. Now the smart gun has a pretty nice rate of fire and it's surprisingly good against spreads, but it doesn't do enough damage to justify its use. I don't know, I've never seen a good smart gun, like a player who can stand toe to toe with a good player while using the smart gun. I've never seen it, and probably never will. That gun just doesn't do enough damage. And if you're using the lock-on function of the smart gun, it's even worse, because that lock-on is so slow you'll be missing more shots than anything. You'll have a higher accuracy with the pulse rifle if you're using the auto aim. So those are kind of useless weapons. Now, as for the useful weapons, the weapons that you should use, basically you have the pulse rifle, the Sadar, and the minigun. So it kind of goes like this. So the Sadar is good against spreads. It's very bad against aliens. It's bad against aliens because it has a very slow rate of fire and it covers up like 33% of your screen. It just takes up too much space, and basically anything that attacks you from the right, you won't even be able to see it because of the Sadar itself, because of the model. You basically need a direct hit with the Sadar to kill anyway, so in this regard you're much better off with the pulse rifle, because you'll be using its grenades, and you need a direct hit, but you'll have a much faster rate of fire. and on top of having a faster rate of fire, you don't have the problem of the Sadar that kind of blocks off your entire screen. So yeah, and as far as the minigun is probably the best weapon the Marine can use. Minigun is in essence, the minigun is kind of a gamble. You're trading your ability to move around, which is very important in this game. I cannot stress it enough how important it is to move around in AvP Classic because of how fast this game is. So you trade that for the ability of this insane DPS. The reason that gun is kind of the best one out of all the Marine weapons is because it gives you the most options. It's good against both the alien and the predator, and you don't have any problems with switching weapons. You come, you start shooting, hopefully you hit something, and you go away. That's in essence, that's all you do with the minigun. Like in its most basic understanding of the minigun. what's important about the minigun is kind of strategizing and about when and where to use the minigun. It's, I think, the most important aspect of the gun. I'll kind of get into that in another video, if I'll do another video of this sort. So yeah, basically that's kind of what they say about that. Yeah, basically, again, you'll see me using the walls a lot. This is the best approach for this map. You use the walls a lot when you're fighting an alien or something of the sort. You need to kind of take a step back and not just rush into your opponent head on, because that's predictable and you don't want to make anything predictable in this game. You don't want to make things easy to predict. At this point in the match, it's kind of, I'm not even taking it seriously anymore, because, well, Old is not trying, and Newt, he's a very good Pulse Marine, but it's not his main species, and I don't really struggle with Pulse Marines. Pulse, as good as Pulse is, it will not be. It's not an efficient answer against an alien of the highest levels. Not just me, basically a lot of aliens will just tear apart a Pulse Marine of the same skill level. Like, if Newt could fight his alien version would easily win. So at this point I'm kind of just poking around at Old, mostly chasing Newt, because he's the only one who still kind of fights against me. But this match is pretty much over at this point. I just decided I'll play until I get 200 points, and then I'll leave, because there's nothing left to be done here. This match is kind of over. This is kind of a funny little glitch with the pulse grenade stuck. Here, see what you mean? See what I mean about jumping off a ledge in a predictable manner? I love hunting down players that do those types of moves. It's way too easy. And again, you can see I'm kind of approaching Old from the wall. I'm not even trying to do anything. I'm just the approach itself. Old understands how menacing it is, and not just because it's me who's doing it, but because when someone attacks you from the wall, you're losing it a bit. You're not entirely sure how to approach it. Even experienced aliens that know kind of how to take down other alien players off the wall, even they struggle with it more than fighting someone on the ground. So yeah, I think I'll just, at this point, I think you kind of got the gist of what I'm trying to say. I'll let you continue watching the video itself, because there's really not much left to say about this match. It kind of becomes repetitive at this point. So yeah, hopefully I'll be able to do another commentary sometime in the future. Hopefully it will be a little less confusing, a little more understandable, I guess, because I kind of lost my train of thought a lot during this video. After all, it is my first commentary, and this is a 30+ minute video for me to ramble on doing the whole thing. So yeah, hopefully next time, if I'll do this sort of thing, hopefully it will be a little easier to understand. So yeah, I guess enjoy the rest of the video and take care. Bye.